Germany and Britain have signed a wide-ranging friendship treaty aimed at strengthening relations strained by the UK's departure from the European Union. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer signed the agreement in London. It includes a mutual assistance clause requiring each country to help the other in the event of an attack. It also reduces trade barriers and bolsters school exchange programmes. The treaty is the first of its kind between the two countries, and both leaders hailed what they called a historic day for German-British relations.
We see the scale of the challenges our continent faces today, and we intend to meet them head-on. But we also see the scale of the opportunities. So we have a shared resolve to shape this new era with new leadership. The UK and Germany side by side, delivering growth and security and delivering for working people. And that is why, earlier today, we did something genuinely unprecedented.
Today, we are opening a new chapter in German-British relations. We are responding together to the new great challenges of our times. To my great and lasting personal regret, the United Kingdom has left the European Union. Russia is shaking up the European security architecture, and transatlantic relations are changing in a way not seen for a long time. Under these new conditions, we want to secure the freedom, the security, and the prosperity of our two countries with a treaty that we have signed today.
Sebastian Maillard is a special advisor to the Jacques Delors Institute and an associate fellow at Chatham House. One of his areas of expertise is EU-UK relations. He joins us from London. Welcome to DW. We learned today that this was the first Anglo-German bilateral treaty since the Second World War. Is that its only significance?
It is quite significant and symbolic that the UK and Germany reach out, but I think that it's even more symbolic that it's not only after the Second World War, but it's also the first treaty after Brexit. And it part of this shift that the UK is doing to reach back to its former allies of the EU. This visit of Chancellor Merz comes right after the visit of President Macron last week, and it's really part of the UK trying to reach out to the biggest countries in the EU to try to get closer and try to repair a bit of the damage that Brexit has done to the relationship with those countries.
And is the UK driving this effort?
Yes, just a year ago when Keir Starmer got elected, he came to power with this. It was in the Labour manifesto that he would reset the expression he used. He would reset the relationship of the UK with the EU and with countries such as Germany and France. And it's also what is really driving this is not only the Brexit and to try to create a new kind of relationship post-Brexit with the EU, but also because of the war now in Russia, in Ukraine, and the Trump administration, which makes the transatlantic ties much uncertain in the future. It really drives and fuels the need for the UK to get closer with its with the country that are actually geographically, economically, politically much more closer to what the UK is today.
Yeah, I was interested in that because defence was part of today's deal. And as Donald Trump's White House becomes more erratic in its behaviour and unreliable, I wonder how much Britain's defence capabilities and seat on the UN Permanent Security Council, how much Britain gets to leverage that as part of what it wants from Europe?
when Chancellor Merz got elected, he immediately reached out to France and the UK for nuclear deterrence and for having a safer protection from those two countries, knowing that the transatlantic ties with Washington were now getting in an uncertain pattern. And so I think the treaty that was signed today in London gives a mutual defense between the UK and Germany, which can be very important when at a moment where we're not really sure what the Article 5 of NATO, which is supposed to already be sufficient to know that we can rely on each other's help, that those two countries, Germany and the UK, will inevitably support each other. So that's actually quite an important new pillar for the security of Germany that is done through this treaty. And of course, when Macron visited, he did his own state visit to the UK last week, he also reviewed with Keir Starmer the doctrine of nuclear deterrence for the continent, which is also which concerns Germany. So all of this makes the framework under which security is guaranteed on the continent gives it a new impetus, right, and to make it a bit more independent from the US.
And as this year-old Labour government, centre-left Labour government, tries to reset relations with the EU, is there much appetite in the UK for closer relations with the club that they narrowly voted to leave?
Mm-hmm. Today in the UK, the mood has changed. If you look at the polls, majority of Brits regret or think the Brexit wasn't really the best idea. It doesn't mean that they want to rejoin the EU. That's another issue. But the new word here is regret, meaning the regretting Brexit and trying to make up with it. And the whole purpose of the Labour government, it actually tried, it was already supposed to sign the treaty it signed today under the Scholz coalition and before the election, but then it's now done with Merz. And the purpose of it is from the British side, is not really actually to get that closer to the EU per se, but to reopen the single market so that British goods can access it better. And it always has found that Germany much open to those ideas, much more than France, actually. Germany has always been more friendly and open to ideas of facilitating trade of goods and services between the UK and the European market, despite Brexit. And so I think Germany welcomes this reset, but doesn't mean that the UK will rejoin at all. That's really not on the agenda. And what the UK is trying to do is trying to get its economic growth boosted through this reset.
All right, thank you for that, Sebastian Maillard from the Jacques Delors Institute and from Chatham House. Thank you so much.